Hello, everyone. I'm here today just to talk about the study that I put together over this past quarter and what the question is for that research that I've been doing. The biggest question that I had for this research was religion and how it affects our approach to sexuality and affects people's first time having sex, otherwise known as losing their virginity, and how it affects the number of sexual partners people have had. And so that was the big question that was proposed for this study, my study over the quarter. There has been studies done around this type of work, but not specifically for this broad of spectrum. It's been more specific toward teenagers and how many of them are having sex and why is that number changing, why is that age changing. So this broader type of study that I did over this quarter was something new brought to the table. A lot more studies were focused around teenagers and that aspect in school. What did I expect to find during this study? Well, based on previous studies that have been done, and just off of the mantra of religion, kind of, you know, putting like this idea around sex that it's sacred, and or the fact that maybe it's frowned upon to have it at a young age. I was expecting to find the average age of people losing their virginity to be higher if they identified with a certain religion, and and based off of studies, that was part of the reasons that people were citing the reason they were having sex at an older age. Teenagers were cited when they had sex at an older age. They were cited as citing religious beliefs for that reason. And so I was expecting to find a higher average age of the loss of virginity for people who identified with a religion, and I expected a lower number of sexual partners for people who identified as with a religion. As far as what we found when we did this study, well, I originally was going to study all religions, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, but it just got a little too broad for the study and for the sake of an 8-week quarter along with other classes and everything. So I specified it down to Catholicism, Christianity, because they large in part study the same things religiously and practice the same values and follow the same books. And so I figured I'd narrow it down to that, and maybe if I followed on later with another study broadening out in religion, then I would do that. But as far as Catholicism and Christianity go, the average age of loss of virginity is higher than the average age of people. So the average age of people is about, in this study, is 16 and a half, right around there. And the average age for Christianity and Catholicism is higher, which is what I was expecting to find. I also found that the average number of sexual partners was lower than the average for the general population of the study. Controlling for age, race, social class, it didn't really throw off. It didn't really change the numbers much. Even controlling for male and female, it didn't change the numbers much. They were all about, they dropped about equally the same. They were off the average number equally the same. So really the key factor was obviously religion. So the takeaway for this is that religion is obviously affects, for this study, religion affects our approach to sex and whether it increases the average age of loss of virginity and it decreases the number of sexual partners people have. Specifically, why? From this study and the broadness of how we approach this study and with the numbers and the data that we used, we don't really know. Well, I don't really know. Based off of all I can tell from this study is that there is a relationship between identifying as a Christian or a Catholic and how you approach sex or how people approach sex. And that is that they're losing their virginity at an older age and they're having less sexual partners. And that goes for both male and female and race included. And there's no real variation between race or age or sex. And so biggest takeaway from the study is that there is an influence from religion, whether it's because there's a negative stigma around sex or the fact that sex is sacred, sex is made for marriage. We don't really know, but we do know that there is a relationship between religion and the average age of losing your virginity and the average number of sexual partners. So I thank you for your time today. I wish you all good luck with the rest of your studies.